And live from Brussels and Tuscany, this is Southern
Southern
Life.
Life. Hello.
Hello, everybody. So actually today, this is here Jesus and Anita, who is welcoming Tine Vandervelden. We're very happy to have you here, Tina. Tine is International Business Director at Fevia. She's already for 22 years in the business. She has worked on international affairs and academic, diplomatic, and business context. And these roles took her place on all over the world. And actually, she is the mother of the Food.be brand, or the godmother of the Food.be brand, which actually is quite recognized internationally, and that is bringing the image or the brand of Belgium to different countries around the world. And I'm very curious about that. So thank you for coming, Tine. It's a big pleasure to have you here. And please let us know, how do you manage to build all this brand Food.be? How did it work? How did you make it happen?
Hi everyone. Hi Jesus and Anita. Thank you for having me. First of all, we've been working with you as an agency for a couple of years now, so I'm very happy and proud to share some insights of our work the last couple of years. Food.be was created about 10 years ago, a bit before I started working for Fevia. It actually happened in the context of a sort of blockage from the Russian Federation of European food and drinks. So we actually lost the Russian market at that moment. So that caused a bit of a crisis in the Belgian agri-food scene. But never waste a good crisis. So our business leaders were thinking about what we can do to diversify our exports more, to have less of our eggs in one basket, so to say. And they felt that we needed a brand for the Belgian food industry to strengthen our image abroad. In order to be able to export to more countries, we really needed to have a stronger image that people can associate with the Belgian food and drinks. And that's when they come up with the term Food.be, small country great food. So we celebrated this brand last year. It has become 10 years of age. So it's like a teenager, let's say, but a teenager that's really matured already over the past couple of years. For us, the brand is really a tool for us to work with all kinds of partners. Of course, in first instance, with our members, but also with a lot of public authorities, with which we work for trade fairs and economic missions, etc. So it's not a B2C brand. We don't aim at consumers, but we aim at governments and at businesses. And our main target audience is actually the clients or the potential clients of our members. So that can be distributors, importers, the retailers, the wholesalers in foreign countries. And this has brought us, our companies, our members, the last couple of years, a bit all over the place in the world. In the US and in Canada and Mexico, so North America, a lot of export we do to Asia, to Japan, South Korea, for example, Indonesia. Recently, we went also to Australia, was a very interesting market, and next up is Brazil. And we also use all kinds of international events like the World Expos. Those are always a really nice way to show the Belgian image, which is, of course, strongly linked with Belgian food and drinks. So that's a good opportunity for us to strengthen our brand as well. So next up, we'll have the Expo in Japan, and really looking forward to that because Belgian food and drinks already have a very strong image there. So I'm sure the Belgian pavilion will be very popular once again.
Nice. I'm a big fan of a lot of dishes and the variety that you can find here in Belgium. So I'm a good. I like to test a lot of things and all that, and I'm a good eater also. So I've
Great.
been starting from the beer, of course, to then dishes like for example, the stuffless or carbonade and all that very traditional dish. You know that I kind of love this kind of traditional food. So, and then obviously the chocolate waffles. So I mean, there is such a big variety. So So I think that there are so many elements that can help you to talk about all the variety that you have to imagine, which it
Yeah.
is. And but what I'm wondering is, you're talking that you're bringing it to so many countries and to so many kind of people. How do you manage to address to such a high diverse target audience?
Yeah, the products that you just mentioned, like the waffles and the chocolate and the beers, they are our main ambassadors. They're really a door opener. Most people will associate Belgium with one of these products, but we use these products to open the door and to showcase all the rest that Belgium has to offer. For example, we're the largest exporter in Europe of frozen vegetables. So that's also a very important international group for us, but also our dairy products or alternative protein products, non-alcoholic beverages are becoming more and more popular. So we use them as a door opener to start a conversation. And we have created like a toolbox, a message house on which to build our communication. And that's actually based on three pillars on quality, innovation, and sustainability. And looking at the different target audiences in different parts of the world, we can use this message house to emphasize certain messages or to bring certain stories. For example, if you look at Japan, we really have to focus on the quality. Quality is key. Japanese people are very much perfectionist. Everything has to be perfect. They do not accept any flaws. But if we look, for example, at the North American audience, there you will have to be more innovative, creative, come with new things to be interesting to the market that is already so broad, already has so much to offer. But then again, if you look at the European Nordics, there is a lot of emphasis on everything that's sustainable. And everything that's more personalized, for example, free from products and things like that. So you really have to look a bit at the consumer and see what is in trend there and have your messages aimed at this target audience so that it speaks to them.
Mm-hmm. Tina, if I can now ask you a question. You mentioned about the main channel of making the business and making this connection, business connection, and speak about Food Bee brand is our fairs, our trade shows.
Yeah.
So like physical, this contact is still super important, especially when it comes to food, because then you can taste it, you can smell it. Can we stop here and speak about other communication, I would say, trends or ways of communicating also in digital? What is there? What is existing, and what would you recommend to review, to consider?
Mm-hmm. Well, for us, as you mentioned, the trade fairs, they remain key for our members. We thought during COVID, of course, there were a lot of trade shows that didn't happen, that weren't allowed to be organized. So we thought we would see more of a shift to the online, which happened to a certain extent. But as soon as COVID was over, you could see again the enormous popularity of the trade fairs. People really want to connect, and the first one I visited after COVID was Gulf Food, and you could really feel the energy and the excitement of the people to be out there again, to be able to talk to each other face to face. But of course, the online aspect is becoming more and more important on the traditional trade fairs as well. They do a match with the offline and the online. They try to combine. But you also saw the rise of, for example, online matchmaking platforms, B2B, for example, RangeMe. This is a bit of the B2B LinkedIn for the food industry and other sectors. So we created a platform there also for Belgian products, and this way our producers can connect with buyers a bit all over the world. So it's accessible with buyers from the US to Australia, let's say.
Yeah.
So that online aspect is becoming more and more important as well.
Yeah, I've heard also about existence of online marketplaces. So this huge marketplaces, when these big transactions are made, are moved into the virtual space. I don't believe that there is anything existing in VR, Jesus. I think this is still the field to explore, but you will probably elaborate a bit about that. But I know, for example, about the Specialty Food Live, when they organize the online marketplace, and it's not only about matching distributors with buyers, with sellers with buyers, but there are also space for some educational webinars, live meeting, even showcasing the products. So this is something interesting, and I think for the food business, it's an interesting trend to monitor how it's going to develop. Well, food is always about, yes, the flavor, smells. You want to try it physically, but I think that these online tools can leverage at least this business connection and business aspect. Yes, communication, awareness building as well about what is on the market.
Well, if I can jump there, in Ready Player One, in the novel, I know that you touch one of my subjects, that is the virtual reality. You were saying that reality is the only place where you cannot taste a steak. You see, a real steak, you cannot get it. Nevertheless, it's true that I've seen some experiments where people are putting headsets, okay, where they don't see the food, but what they see is a series of other images and sound and all that. But then you eat, but you don't know exactly what you're eating. You know that the view and the sound is also part of the experience of eating. So then they play with what is the experience of suddenly eating something when you think that you're eating something else and all that. So there are some experiments around that are really interesting. So, well, just maybe I kind of, for some kind of activation, I just throw there.
We actually have them in Brussels, something that you can do as an event where you go dine in the dark. So you're guided to your spots and you don't see anything. So you don't know what you're eating. And I haven't done it yet, but apparently it's a really bizarre thing that you think that you're eating chicken and it's fish or whatever. So exactly, it's a very sensory thing to eat and drink. You really need to see it. You have to hear it. You have to taste it. You have to smell it. It's the whole experience that works best, of course.
We have Evangelia Kirkwood who's saying hi, happy Friday to everyone. So happy Friday.
Hello.
Hi.
I hope Eva's after the lunch, because we are we may become hungry at the end of the session, speaking about the food and Belgitude.
Indeed. Tina, with your experience, what would you tell to new communicators starting now? What would be your advice to them?
Yeah. You know, we talk about a lot about a buzzword that you hear a lot is authenticity, and it may be a cliche, but it really, for me, is how you should communicate from yourself. Find your own voice. Speak a bit from who you are, what you stand for, and don't be shy to take a position in things. I work with a lot of people in different contexts, and if you are authentic, if you're genuine, then you can always connect with people. So that's very important. So that would be my suggestion to young people. I recently read an interesting book. It's called Busy: How to Thrive in a World of Too Much. It's by Tine So actually, his recommendation is to tone out all the outside noises that we have all day. We got so much input, we got so much information on the radio, on the TV, in our mailbox. Try to shut that down more and focus on who you are, what you stand for, what your priorities are. I think it's quite important to find your own voice and have your own brand as your communicator as well. What do you stand for? So I've also been thinking about this for myself, and I think my brand can be described as passionately reliable. That's actually a term that we've also been using to promote the Belgian food industry in Flanders. But for me, this means three things. In the first place, it's important, as I said, to be authentic. That's the best way to connect with people all over the place. People feel it when you're authentic, and they will find a common ground with you. And then secondly, for me, it's always important to work with clients in trust and in quality. and with my partners, because it's very important that they know if they work with me that they can rely on me and that I will always deliver the quality. That's very important as a basis. This, for me, that's also part of my image, I think. And very important for me is there a third element, and that's the fun factor, because I work with so many people in Belgium, but also abroad, and working with me always has to be fun as well. So you can be authentic, you can be high quality, but it also has to be fun to work with someone. Otherwise, people won't be that much inclined to work with you again in the future. So don't take yourself too serious and have fun at what you do, I would say.
Well, I cannot doubt that actually the topic that is that you are addressing with the food and all that is a great place to have fun and all that, because it's a great and a nice topic. I have Justin who's saying hi. Hello, Justin. Happy Friday to you also. And now maybe what we can go is for the recommendation of the week. Okay, let's go. Okay, so Tine, tell us, what is your recommendation for the week?
Well, as I said, go get the book of Tony Krabbe, become less busy, focus more on yourself, and maybe something to think about over the weekend that's coming. What is your personal brand? What do you stand for? What do you want to portray when you work with partners or when you communicate?
Indeed, I think the brand is one of the key elements, and actually nowadays with social media and all that, well, in the classes that we give, Phil and I, we give some classes in different universities, and we always tell the student, yes, exactly what you're saying. It's your moment now to start building that brand, because it's more, sometimes even more than just creating just a CV. If you want to enter as a professional in a space, just showcase that and build that brand. So I totally agree with you. Anita, your recommendation?
Yes, but my recommendation is really like weekend one, guys. Okay. So after you already made a plan for developing your professional brand, then you can relax a bit. This is a wonderful book, What You Can See From Here by Mariana Lecki. This is in Polish, fortunately, because I feel and think in Polish. Wonderful book. If I could describe it in one sentence, this is like super juicy, fruity smoothie. It's tasty, but it's healthy at the same time. I was crying, I was laughing. And after this book, I think I will not exaggerate that when I will say that it's a bit like a little catharsis, because it really brings back the hope in people, in us, and stress the power and importance of relationship, but healthy, mature, the relationships that we approach in a mature way with our heart. So if someone is looking for a really beautiful book for the longer weekend, try this one.
Juicy and smoothie, that's what I remember. You stay in the food family, perfect.
Yes, with a little bit of vitamin C, because it's really speaking about the healthy reality. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I will go a bit on the science fiction space, okay, and a bit also on virtual. You know, I like a lot of virtual reality and all that. So I'm bringing the three body problem, which now is on Netflix as a series show, but actually is based on the novel, well, the three novels from Cixin Liu. I don't know if I pronounce well in Chinese. So I read the novels some time ago, and now I was very glad to see that it's brought to Netflix. I think that they brought a more international scope on the series, which is make it from my eyes but much more interesting. It's well done. It's nice. Well, still the book is quite nice to read. So voila, if you want to spend a bit of time after reading the books that were proposed before, I propose you to have a look at that. Justin Raid is saying in a comment there that I pronounce well in Chinese, so thank you. Okay. Okay, so I think these are the recommendations. I don't know, Tine, you have something else to
yes.
say?
Actually, before I forget, go to LinkedIn and connect with food.be. Don't forget. That way you will get the information, you get the juicy stories about the Belgian food industry. You won't regret.
We will put it in the comments. For
Perfect.
sure.
Thank you, Jesus.
Visit. Okay, so thank you very much, Tine. See you around, Anita. And
Yes.
this is the end of
See
Southern
you
Live.
around.
Next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Great weekend. Bye-bye.